Okay, so I wasn't planning on making a new Harley video until the end of the season, like I said in my last video, but I think there's enough content for me to justify a new video. I'm lying, I'll take any excuse to talk about Harley Quinn. Hey guys, what's going on? It is me, Punk Yoshi, or Alberto. Welcome back to the video. So I do have a couple videos lined up, but don't fret, eventually we'll get to those. We're just taking it one at a time. If you're new to the channel, hey, my name is Punk Yoshi, or Alberto. I love animation. It kind of runs through my veins at this point. But among the shows that I have on rotation, Harley Quinn has to be the one I look forward to the most every week. I rechecked my baby girl show on the top 10 series of the day, and hey, we finally made it. We're usually in the top 10. She jumps from like 4 when the episode drops to 9, but she's up there, guys. She's up there. I guess people would rather watch Diddy right now. But for real, the writers are getting bold this season. I was not expecting some of the jokes to be this insane.
Yep. Good. Hold it.
Wrong lab, but I do love whatever this is.
But hey, we got Titty Flash by Harley in season 4, so I guess anything's possible. Also, Bane made this joke.
Imagine what you can do for my Pearl Harbor extravaganza. I specialize in extravaganza.
He said that he loves extravaganzas. Now I'm convinced the writers have seen my YouTube channel and are secretly in love with me. I'm not delusional. But wow, what a different direction this season's going from what I was expecting. And that's not a bad thing. If you remember from our last video, we ended up talking about how Harley unintentionally/intentionally drove off Superman from Metropolis, and how Harley and Ivy were able to get this pretty sweet gig in Metropolis through Lena Luthor, but you know, she has her own intentions in mind. And Brainiac is also overseeing everything that goes on in Metropolis. And we do get some more story beats of these storylines from the 3 episodes that are out right now, so it's totally fine for them to switch focus and have fun on other things that are going on in their lives. It's just when the first episode ends, I thought that Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy would share about 50% of the focus this season. Which they sorta kinda do, it's just they're really hard focusing on Ivy and her storyline this season, and Harley just kinda tags along here and there. It's pretty cool to see how much the story has progressed, where Harley Quinn isn't the main focus of her own show. It's not something that we're not used to. I mean, ever since season 3, Ivy became a core fundamental part of the show. They started to explore a 50-50 medium where they can both have their own A story with a bunch of side stories in between that usually all end up getting smushed together in the climax. But this season feels like they're hard focused on Poison Ivy, and the rest of the characters are more of an afterthought. We are only 3 episodes deep, so this may change dramatically in the next couple episodes, especially after where we left off. I did enjoy Harley's storyline, don't get me wrong. She just has less to do this season so far. I heard a lot of people online talk about how they straight up didn't like Clayface's storyline, which honestly I can kind of see. It's just such a jarring difference to jump from Poison Ivy almost dying and then cut to Clayface complaining about his acting career. Like, the audience is so hooked and focused on Harley and Ivy, to jump to Clayface and whatever wacky shit he's doing feels kind of out of left field. Although they finally brought back Bane in episode 2, and I love how they are bringing back Betty as a canon girlfriend to Bane. And oh my god, they brought back Goldilocks from Kite Man. I knew they're gonna find a cool way to connect the 2 shows together, and it's just awesome seeing her guest appearance here. But I'm pretty sure Kite Man season 1 takes place between seasons 4 and 5 of Harley Quinn. And this is also confirmed by a cool Easter egg I noticed in episode 3 of Harley Quinn. So, to backtrack a little bit, during Kite Man there was an arc where he had to hide from Darkseid and Lex Luthor, so he spent some time in a secret resort. He actually sees Frank the Plant at the same resort in the episode. Frank ends up selling Kite Man out to Lex Luthor so he can get his fat check from Luthor, and the resort ends up getting blown up after Kite Man drops a magical core into a power plant that's nearby. And during the latest episode of Harley Quinn, when Harley calls Frank for help, you can actually see the same exploded power plant in the background where Frank is chilling with his huzz. That's just so awesome. Cool little Easter egg. Other than that, I also noticed that they totally retconned Ivy being green when she was little. I think during seasons 1 or 3, there's a flashback of her and she's green in her small self. But now, with the new Jason Woodrow lore, we finally see how Poison Ivy got her powers in this universe. And this happened when she was in grad school, so she wouldn't have been able to be born as a green little plant. It's also interesting that Ivy does the same exact thing to him, and I don't understand why she would end up doing this. Like, you saw the same exact thing that he did to you give you superpowers, but you decided to do it to him too. It reminded me of Barry Allen trying to regain his super speed in Flashpoint Paradox by trying to recreate the same scenario that let him control the Speed Force. But here, who would have thought he's able to live and become Floronic Man, which is a terrible name, and Frank claps back with Moronic Man. But yeah, this whole arc was really fun. and once they were able to beat Moronic Man, Brainiac's robots abduct him to his mothership, which is where we're going to start episode 4. So far, I said this last time and I'll say it again, I think the writing has stayed very consistent and good throughout the season. Ignoring Clayface's arc, it's been peachy clean. I really love how they added those Kaiman Easter eggs. I'm gonna keep my eyes peeled for more in the new episodes. But now, the reason why I wanted to create this video, and justify it for all the content that it has, they officially came out in the Harley Wiki with the remaining episode titles for the rest of Season 5. And I think we have some juicy stuff here. So obviously we started with episode 1, The Big Apricot, obviously referring to Harley and Ivy moving from Gotham to Metropolis. The Big Apricot. Episode 2 was called Back to School, which was referring to Ivy returning to grad school, but this time as an instructor. We had Harley in the Beach story, taking care of King Shark's kids, and we learned about Jason Woodrow. Episode 3 was called Floronic Man, which is referring to Jason Woodrow becoming part of the Green. Ivy starts out this episode with PTSD, and Harley is mad because obviously she's still hiding stuff from her. Then we spend the rest of the episode fighting Floronic Man. So here are the new ones. Episode 4 is called Breaking Brainiac, a Breaking Bad reference. Pretty amazeballs. So I'm assuming Breaking Brainiac refers to them literally breaking out of Brainiac's lair. And it could have a double meaning here, like someone who started out as a goody two-shoes could become evil. Maybe they finally see Lena Luthor's true colors, possibly. Episode 5 is called Big Pasta Dinner. Throwback to Bane. Definitely going to be a Bane episode. Like how they spent a whole episode on him in Season 4. If you don't remember, there's a running gag in the show, all the way back from Season 2, when Bane bought Ivy and Kaiman an authentic Italian pasta maker for their wedding, but was pissed off when they called it off and didn't return his pasta maker. Then throughout the whole show he's had a whole arc of this, including going all the way to Italy to get another pasta maker for Nora Freeze. I can't imagine what Big Pasta Dinner itself stands for, but maybe Bane uses pasta in a clever way to help Harley and Ivy fight Brainiac. Episode 6 is called Bottle My Heart. Not sure what this one stands for, but I'm assuming this is a sad Harley episode. Of Ivy bottling her heart and not telling Harley a lot of important feelings that get bottled up. Episode 7 is called Frankette. Frank is finally gonna get his wifey. Although, what happened to the Rose Huzz? Homie's a player for show. Episode 8 is called Family Feud. I'm guessing this one's referring to the Luthors, and it's a Luthor family feud of Lena Luthor and Lex Luthor. Then we have the one that I'm most excited for, Episode 9, Bottle Episode. So if you don't know what a bottle episode is, I'll try my best to quickly explain it. But I believe it started with Friends, and it's a whole entire episode that takes place in one location. Most of the time, they try to find clever ways that the characters end up getting put in the situation where they have to spend 20 to 40 minutes of an entire episode, or it can be as simple as they just spend the day at an apartment. My favorite bottle episodes are the ones that they get trapped and they are forced to spend some time together. As you can imagine, this requires a lot of characters to introspectively look into themselves, and there's a lot of character development that goes through, and there's bonds that are formed between the two characters. Some famous examples of this are Breaking Bad's Fly episode. Family Guy did one where Brian and Stewie get stuck in a bank cell overnight, and BoJack Horseman's Free Churro, where he spends the entire episode in a funeral room talking about his belated mother. But as you can see, I really love these episodes. They're just so fun. It requires the writers to not use cheap tactics in order to create their writing, so they have to sit and think about how they're going to spend 40 minutes on two characters that have to talk to each other the whole time. And I'm so happy that Harley Quinn is doing one. I think it's going to be Brainiac trapping Ivy and Harley in a fifth dimension, or maybe Ivy is forced to spend the entire episode in the green. But please make it an episode between Harley and Ivy. I need to see that. If it's Frank and Ivy, or Frank and Bane, or Harley and Clayface, I might actually cry. But the season finale, and the last episode of the season, is episode 10, and it's called The Mess is the Point. I know it's referring to a way that Harley ends up saving the world in her own Harley Quinn way. She uses messy situations in her benefit, and we know that she's always going to pull through. I'm hoping they set up the next season nicely, or they could always just go back on their word if they don't like the way the series is going, like how they did with the Gotham City Sirens. That lasted like 2 seconds. But yeah, that's my speculation for the rest of the season. What do you guys think? There's a good chance that more than half of this is wrong, but it's always fun to speculate. With that though, I'm going to end up today's video. Let me know if you enjoyed or are as excited for the next 7 episodes of Harley Quinn as I am. I know I'm secretly geeking, but I'm trying to keep my composure. I'm happy my show is back. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe. It's always appreciated. I will be creating at least one more Harley Quinn video at the end of the season. Its own little Harley Quinn extravaganza. But if you guys truly want weekly Harley Quinn content, voice yourself in the comments. I read all of them. I will also get better at releasing these videos on time and not 3 days late, I promise. It was just this week was crazy. Anyways, guys, my name has been Alberto or Punkayoshi. I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye bye.